Okay, so, Doctor, thanks for spending the time with us
no
on
problem.
the shockwave. What on earth is behind you? It looks like a candy apple maker or a cotton candy maker.
Yeah, it could be that way. It could be a mini MRI. Anyway, this is what's called magnetic biostimulation. It's the this coil here induces some magnetic field, and this one is also a laser. So it has a magnetic biofield and a
Is the
laser.
magnetic field bad? What do you know about it? Everybody has a connotation as a negative thing.
Well, magnetic fields all depends what you use it for. I think what happens with this, the way that this one works, is increases the magnetic field. So the magnetic field has the effect of increasing the ions into the area. So we know the oxygen is ion. We know the calcium. All of those elements are the ions in the blood. So if you put this one in there, so what it really does, it brings those into the area. So therefore, you increase the oxygenation of the area. You increase the flow as well, because now you're causing this magnetic field to cause the flow. So that's the main thing. Some of them has a heating effect, but this one doesn't have any heating effect. It doesn't cause you to feel a heat. So the therapeutic effect of it is not a healing, but it's actually that causing the flow of the elements.
The initial one was the high frequency, right?
Yes.
That was causing the heat. That was a magnetic field.
That
But this is not high frequency at all.
No, it's not a high frequency one. This is actually just a flow of energy, and you don't feel it unless when you put it on. You definitely want to know this is a magnet. You hold it in your hand, and when you put it over here, you can actually feel a vibration of the magnet, because it's inside the coil. So that's what the machine is all about, actually. And the laser, we know about laser. Laser is used, and this one has red and infrared laser, and all of those. What it does, it helps with the healing through a specific wavelength of the light.
So you have one little tiny diode there? What do you have? Explain it to me.
Many different diodes in here. It has light, and it has laser, and the red and light. So when we turn it on, you can see the different colors in here. There's different settings, so that's what you see. So you see these ones are red one, but what you don't see is the top one.
The infrared ones.
Yes,
right?
the infrared ones. So you have red and infrared, and you have light as well.
And you use them together or separately?
I usually use them together. I usually use them together. This one would for example, what I found out that I like this one the best is for knee injuries. Meniscus, medium, patellofemoral, anything in the knee has been shown to work amazingly for me. And what I would do, for example, if this is a medial or lateral knee, I would put this one against that part, and then the coil is all around it, so it would work the other way.
And nobody's coming out well done. Nobody's coming out more tanned.
That would be extra charge, but we can arrange that. Yes.
So, what does the patient feel while they're in there?
They don't feel anything.
What are the effects they feel?
Nothing when they're there. But when they get up, their range of motion increases. The swelling a little bit decreases. Some of them are like, "Wow, I couldn't feel this." Great for the arthritic pain, arthritis. One of the other ones is the RA, which rheumatic arthritis. Rheumatic arthritis is one of the ones that has been shown to greatly be affected by laser. Even Cochrane review, which usually doesn't say this one really works or not, obviously says we need more research. That even indicated that laser is effective to decrease inflammation and pain in rheumatic arthritis patients.
From the business side of from the business point of view, what are you doing to set up the patient, and how does it fit into your day?
When for this one, I can use it for acute or chronic, for all kind of conditions. What I do with this is that because it's something that is not painful and they can just rest in there, and for specific conditions that I know it has a better result than anything else, I usually use this. So I tell them about it, I give them an idea what it is, how it would work. Usually with this one, 3 times per week for 3 weeks of therapy is required to show the difference. So I tell them that this is what is required. And I usually charge for it separately because it's a separate thing, it's an extra to whatever I do.
But how is that efficient if you have to be involved with each therapy and you got to have them in 3 to 5 times?
Yeah. So that's
So
the way.
are you spending every minute with the patient, Harry?
No. You put it in here 20 minutes and you go and you do your work. 20 minutes later, you come back and you do the rest of your work. So
okay.
It's very efficient, actually, in that case, because the shock wave therapy, I have to be there to apply it. This one, just leave them there and go.
Okay. This isn't a single therapy? Is this the only therapy? How does a doctor fit it into their practice? Or
It's not a single therapy. There's no machine going to have all the results for you. So there's no way that's one of your modalities. That's my idea. I think I use shockwave. When I use shockwave, I don't use this. I know the shockwave has different effect, and that has its place. If I replace it with this, probably I'm not going to have the same effect. I may have the effect, but not as much as I want it. So it's all of that. But if somebody cannot afford shockwave, I may have to put them in here. It's all that thing that you would see. Okay, what is going on, and based on your diagnosis, you would choose which one is going to do you best.
Couldn't you do the exact same thing with the cheaper piece of equipment and just do an ultrasound on them? Why do you?
Ultrasound does not have the effect of magnets, so it's different. Ultrasound has its own properties, and it depends. And I mean, again, some conditions, if you want to work on the, for example, a scar tissue, I want to break down a scar tissue. I can't. This is not going to do that. This is not going to break down this biggest scar that I want to go at it, and I will use it by ultrasound.
For things that are deeper in the bone.
Yes, even superficial. Your lymphatic drainage. One of the other things that you would use this is lymphatic drainage and diabetic neuropathy, those kind of things. Swelling. You would use this. So not just for deep, but it is also for superficial. But it is different.
So what's the perception of people when they look at a funny round thing like that? Do they think you're Dr. Zeus?
No, not really. As long as you explain to them, but they all say, "Wow, Dr. K, you got another new stuff for us. What does this do?" So, it brings curiosity, definitely. And if you know about the machine, and you know how it works, and you explain it to them, they are all over new stuff. So. That's what it is.
When you learn in school, you don't always learn about all these things. Do you run into it? You're a professor too, aren't you?
Yes.
Why do you have a more open mind than somebody else? I mean, you didn't see it in school. Why should I even look at it or consider it?
Well, I usually am always looking at new stuff coming out and the evidence behind it. What are they? What do they do? There's a number of these things that are coming out, and absolutely they do nothing, and there's no evidence behind them. So you would say, okay, what is your evidence? What does it work? How does it work? It makes sense? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? And you give it a try. You should give it a try. Does it work on my patient? If it's not working, then it's not going to work.
What about when we just talked about the shockwave a few minutes ago. You were one of the first early ones there. Where'd you go for advice there?
I saw it, I was in 2003, I was in Athens presenting a research on pre-competition habits in Taekwondo athletes at the pre-Olympic Congress. And they have the shockwave there. But prior to that, because I usually keep myself abreast on the literature, what's coming out and what is out there, I read on it, and I never saw the machine. So when I went there, I saw the machine, and it was after that I come back and I found, do you have anybody in Canada? And they told me who was in Canada and go after it. But again, it all depends on how much you put time to read the literature and find out about new stuff that's coming out that are effective. So,
well, you're effectively helping people cheat that system by making a testimonial here, right?
I'm not sure, but I always tell them to go and check for themselves. If you don't believe me, go on the net and go on the peer-reviewed journal, PubMed, all of those search engine for the medical research, and you can find it there. It's absolutely a lot of stuff. And new ones now is coming up with regards to the shockwave is as treatment of AVN of the hip and trochanteric bursitis, all the stuff that you didn't do before, but now you're doing so. Same thing.
And the G-Pulse behind you, is that effective to help you see more people in the day because it's not so hands-on?
Yeah, Yeah, it will help us with that. Remember, they're here 20 minutes on that usually, and that take time, but it's effective for me. I put them there, do my all stuff, I come back, and I do the rest of it.
One last question. There's two parts of the video. One was on the shockwave, was on the G-pulse. At the beginning, you told me your qualifications. For the people who didn't watch or don't see the first part, can you just repeat for me?
Yes, sure.
This is the grand finale, so
yes.
make yourself look twice as good.
Yes, I will do that, yes. So I'm Dr. Mohsen Kazemi. I'm a chiropractor. I have two specialties, one in sports and one in rehabilitation. I also have done my acupuncture. I have a master's degree from Bournemouth University in advanced chiropractic practice. I'm an associate professor at Chiropractic College, and I am in charge of the sports residency program. I run my own clinic. I've been the team doctor for Canadian Taekwondo team since 1998. I've been the medical chair for Ontario Taekwondo Association since 2003. I've been in 3 Olympics, Beijing, Vancouver 2010, and I was the only chiropractor on first Youth Olympic in Singapore. And I will be at the Pan Am Games working for IOC.
And rumor has it if somebody asks you for your wallet in a dark alley, you're not so bad in that department either?
Yeah, it could be that way. So I have a 6-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I was the world champion in 2008, and I've been the Canadian national champ since 2004.
Now I'm almost afraid to shake your hand. You might flip me over.
You better be. I wasn't going to do that on you.
Doctor, thanks so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Have a good day.
Okay.